Hello folks, Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU here for another Legacy video. Kurt B wanted to see this Draw 7 deck list, so we're going to be wheeling and dealing today. So, Rich Kelly wrote an article for Channel Fireball back in about March, kind of highlighting this deck list. And there's kind of an important interaction at hand here, and that's the interaction between cards like Hullbreacher and Narset, Parter of the Veils, and symmetrical Draw 7s. So what we're looking to do is have one of these cards in play, and they both almost do the same thing. Essentially, what both of these are going to do is prevent your opponent from drawing more than one card each turn. And then we are going to play a Days Undoing, or another one of these similar effects that does something. So we have Days Undoing, Echo of Eons, and the backside of this card, Memory, which is a Draw 7. So let's walk through both of these scenarios. If you have a Hullbreacher in play and cast one of these Draw 7s, and like this is not going to be a card from their draw step, right? So what's going to happen is you're going to draw 7 and you're going to make 7 treasure tokens, and your opponent is going to end up junking their hand, right? Because each one of these like have you go and like get rid of your hand. So the idea is like your win condition is taking away all of your opponent's cards and then drawing 7. If you have a Narset, the wording is slightly different here. Each opponent can't draw more than one card each turn. So they will junk their hand, and you will go and get 7 cards, whereas they get 1. Pretty good deal. As far as rules interactions go, if you control both a Hullbreacher and a Narset, you will not get the treasure tokens. So if you have Hullbreacher in play first, be careful about playing a Narset second. So these cards don't win the game, right? At least not in terms of like reducing the opponent's life total to 0. So as far as physically winning the game goes, most of the time we're going to be looking to win with Urza's Saga tokens, or by setting up something like Karn the Great Creator plus Mycosynth Lattice so that your opponent can't cast spells. So we're very light on real win conditions, but we're really looking to turbo out this combo as consistently as possible. And to do that, we're not only playing the traditional soul lands of Ancient Tomb and City of Traders, but we are also playing some of these depletion counter lands. Essentially, they tap for either blue-blue or green-green, but you only get to use them twice before you have to sacrifice them. So there's sort of like how we are going to accelerate towards doing this incredibly consistently. We do have Lion's Eye Diamond coupled with Echo of Eons as another way to just draw 7 early. So sometimes we'll just play out a bunch of artifact mana and attempt to draw 7 without necessarily fully comboing off. I want to pull out the sideboard here to just kind of visualize this a little bit better. As far as the sideboard goes, because we are playing Hickory Woodlot, we can attempt to turbo out Choke very quickly as well. That's going to be our primary game plan versus blue decks. For combo decks, we have Force of Negations, and then the remainder of our sideboard is a very small Karn the Great Creator package. We essentially have an early game win condition, a late game win condition, a way to buy time, and a pseudo combo piece. Lion's Eye Diamond is very good with Echo of Eons and can have some other effects in the deck as well. So that's kind of where we're going with this deck in terms of a direction. Now, I don't necessarily expect that this deck is going to be better than, say, a Jeskai deck that has a bunch of controlling elements, like a Hullbreacher Days Undoing combo finish. I don't expect this will be better than that, but I expect that this will be a great like screenshot deck where we're going to do the thing pretty fast and pretty frequently. But I think a lot of games will end up on an axis that I can't really interact with. All right, let's go ahead and hop on into the league here. If you're new here and you enjoy the content, please consider subscribing. And if you are a regular, please throw me a like before this video begins. That is the easiest way to support my content for free. Let's battle. Okay, my opening hand here is essentially entirely mana. I don't have any business spell here. I don't have an Urza Saga here. Unfortunately, this one is just going to have to be a mulligan. What does this one do? This just plays an Urza Saga game, just like Mox, Lotus Petal, Urza Saga into Ancient Tomb, just activate Urza Saga a bunch of time, and then have some draw 7s for later to assemble the combo. I think this is probably fine on a mulligan. And I just have to make the choice of whether or not I think an Echo of Eons or a Days Undoing is better. I think a Days Undoing is. It's just going to be easier to cast if I top deck a Hullbreacher. Now, there are also worlds where I can consider playing a Days Undoing on turn 1. I don't know that I am just innately going to want to do that. So we're probably playing against, like, Doomsday here, or maybe a Storm deck. That is a top with a Preordain. Chromox is a little awkward. How am I winning versus a combo deck in game 1? The answer is probably either Force of Will or Karn. And I have neither one of those things right now. I might end up just casting a Days Undoing here. It gives my opponent more cards, but takes away the selection of their Preordain. And potentially draws me towards counter magic. I think I like that. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, cast the Chromox. It will not imprint anything. No. Now my Mox Opal is on. I will go 3 mana, cast the Days Undoing. Okay. Oh my god. Yes. Yes. We have Force of Will to get through this turn, followed by Karn to shut off artifact mana. That's pretty close to ideal. All right, there's an LED. Don't think I get to mess around with countering normal stuff here. I think I have to go for the cards that truly matter. All right, there's a Trop. So Needle is leaning more in the Storm direction than anything else right now. Since I have double Force of Will, I think it's fine to let that resolve. That's fine. It's good. Ponder's fine. Yeah, like letting the Wishclaw Talisman is fine because if my opponent ends up passing the turn, I just like play Karn and shut that off. Like that's why these onboard cards, like big air quotes, don't matter. Okay, there is another Dark Ritual, so opponent is going to attempt to continue going off here. I'm not sure exactly what the holdup is on my opponent's side. Yeah, that is absolutely fine. Man, this Karn is so good if my opponent just passes the turn. Yep, that's fine. All right, so I have control of this thing. So at some point, I do have to consider Force of Willing something just to stop my opponent from just like naturally having end rolls and killing me. Is it here? Is this the point where I have to just stop this? It might be here. Otherwise, this is Storm 8. Yeah, it might be here. Let's force this and pitch a Narset. Okay, that got me the turn. All right, so I have... If I play an Ancient Tomb, that's 4 mana for Karn right there. Don't think I need this. Yeah, I don't think I need to activate that. I think I'm going to use my mana in a different way. Let's go 4 mana Karn. Go ahead and just immediately minus this. Yes. Grab Liquimetal Coating. I will go 1, 2, play Liquimetal Coating. And then I will treat this as a Rishadan port. And I'll go after my opponent's black mana here. And my opponent can cantrip, but I think they just instantly lose to me playing a Mycosynth Lattice on my next turn. Yep, okay, good stuff. So I imagine I will just board in for Force of Negation and call it that. I guess I can technically consider Choke, but my opponent has a bunch of artifact mana. Let's find 4 things. So like Spellbomb, Shadow Spear can probably go as my starting point. Retrofitter Foundry is perhaps unnecessary as well. Like, if I have an Urza Saga and I've made a couple of tokens with it, like, those tokens will just win me the game. Like, that is not going to be the deal breaker. Just cut 1 land. I could... Well, I guess this is technically a 4 mana counterspell. Maybe I don't cut that. Probably just cut a land here. Island better or worse than Hickory Woodlot? Probably worse. I don't know. This hard casts the counterspells. Drop 1 Hickory Woodlot. Okay. This hand has no lands. Just absolutely cannot keep it. This is probably a keep. This is probably Urza's Saga into City of Traders with a Force of Negation backup. I probably keep both sides of this combo and pitch an Urza's Saga here, I think. I have a lot of very interesting draws. Like an untapped blue source means that Hullbreacher becomes a turn 2 play. A soul land means that Karn becomes a turn 2 play. Karn is just really tough for this deck to answer. They're not great at just getting in the red zone and pressuring planeswalkers. That's just like not a thing that the deck does. All right, we are currently on Operation Urza Saga then, with a single counterspell backup. I am not sure which one of these cards I would pitch at this time. I think it's Days Undoing, but I'm not actually 100% sure. All right, opponent is now fetching to clear their Brainstorm. All right, and they have a Thoughtseize, which I will just let resolve, because that's going to take my Force of Negation, and I have a backup Karn. It'll be pretty safe for my opponent to go for it next turn. I am looking to draw probably like Lotus Petal to just put a Karn into play this turn. Okay, yeah, you can play out LED. Don't know that that's a good idea. Like, I have a Karn on board. I don't get the punish there. So this is just going to be a City of Traders, make a construct turn. I think my opponent just like put themselves down 1 storm for this turn. All right, what do you got for me? I do not have any ability to fight back here. Okay, looks like my opponent has decided they are not going off this turn. Or not. Okay, they have decided that. So let's make my construct token and go to my next turn. This is absolutely just going to be float mana and produce Karn. So there's 3 mana. Chrome Mox is probably fine, with the exception of like a Hercule's Recall, in which case it is very much not fine to get this versus Lotus Petal. I'm scared enough of that I'm just gonna grab Lotus Petal. Maybe that's me being a coward, but like that would be horrifying for me. All right. Let's plus this, blow up that LED, and I'll just swing in for 1 point of damage. I don't need to be in a hurry to win this game, because like next turn I can play out a Hullbreacher, and like Hullbreacher plus Karn together in play is probably just going to be good enough for a win. I'm so smart and handsome. So handsome. Oh god, I'm so glad I played around that shit. Now, there are worlds where opponent can like just cast an ad nauseum and like draw their deck, produce enough rituals not using artifact mana to put up a win. So I'm not 100% in the clear. Let's see what this Infernal Tutor gets. It is another Cabal Ritual. Ooh, do they have Cabal Writ into Cabal Writ? Into Adnaz. Okay, they do. That is very good for them. Now, many of these things are going to become misses, and they are going to have a very difficult time actually getting getting something real started here. Okay, they're still going. At what point do you just stop? Okay, here is the answer. So there's a Lotus Petal that doesn't do anything. It builds Storm though. Yep, same. Right, so those petals are gone. The LED is gone. Abrupt Decay does not hit Karn, notably. That's just going to be the turn. That's fine with me. And then my opponent will presumably discard like Thoughtseize, and a land. Yeah, Thoughtseize, Misty, Thoughtseize. I'm just going to check my sideboard real quick. This all looks fine. I think I just want to go like, yeah. Actually, playing the Hullbreacher out in the face of Abrupt Decay. Is that correct? That might actually not be correct. I'm actually considering casting Days Undoing to take away my opponent's graveyard for like Past in Flames based lines. I know my opponent has multiple Burning Wishes, but I don't know what all that Burning Wish can represent. It's probably a 2-turn line, though, of Burning Wish this turn, get relevant target. I can Days Undoing next turn if I need to. Or actually, no, it's weird. Like, I'll have one of Days Undoing or Hullbreacher, not both. Okay, given that, let's minus Karn. Yes, Oh, I have given myself more targets, for what that's worth. I think I'm going to just continue with my original plan, though. I'm going to play Liquid Metal Coating and use it as a Rishadan port on Volcanic Island for this turn cycle. So in my opponent's upkeep, let's junk Volcanic Island so that they can't activate Burning Wish at sorcery speed. And yeah, you can absolutely brainstorm. All right, take your draw. The whole disappearing mana situation is a little awkward. Second brainstorm's fine. Just gonna look to kind of take my opponent off of these red sources. If they, yeah, okay, if they don't do that. Okay, but now with that gone, Hullbreacher is live as a relevant card again, whereas it wasn't a second ago. All right, that's a basic land, which is kind of whatever. Let's Karn plus Junk and LED. 2 mana, land, 3 mana. Kind of awkwardly have to telegraph this ahead of time. Play a Hullbreacher. This is my lethal threat for next turn. Third brainstorm. Wow. All right. That'll be the turn. Opponent can potentially, like, Burning Wish for Massacre? Question mark? And use that to kill a Hullbreacher. Okay, there's an Infernal Tutor. Or a second Cabal Ritual. Alright, there is a Cabal Ritual. Another one, okay. This is going to be a Peer line? How does Peer round? Does a Peer from 1 life kill my opponent? I don't know the exact text of the card off the top of my head. Alright, there goes a Burning Wish. They don't have red mana to just ping this stuff. Okay, we have gotten the concession. Opponent can't wiggle out of this spot. GG's. Alright, round 2, I can play a turn 2 Hullbreacher into a turn 3 Days Undoing. I will go ahead and keep this hand. Wasteland will be very good against this opener, but I think Wasteland will be good against just about any opener that I could possibly have with this deck. I have very few non-basic lands. I have 1 basic. Literal 1. Okay, Chromox is cool. I'll play that next turn, though, I think. Let's just play a depletion land, and then we can attempt to play Hullbreacher around a Daze. Unfortunately, opponent, like, very easily could just produce a Murktide Regent, and then my whole, like, Daze Undoing Hullbreacher shit does not matter. Very afraid of that. And, you know, if on, you know, turn 1, I'm talking about, like, potentially just dying immediately. Maybe not the best sign that things are good, you know? Alright, my Chromox has resolved. I'll throw a Narset under that and call it a turn. Oh, wow, that is a hyper-aggressive Lightning Bolt. Which, again, feels like Murktide Regent is about to happen, and then all the cute shit I'm doing doesn't matter. Feels bad that, like, Delver can effectively just win the game on turn 2. Alright, so instant sorcery land is in there. I think this is a safe enough point where I can flash in the Hullbreacher and attempt to do cool shit. There's a brainstorm in response, unfortunately. Alright, so it's resolved, and now the question is, like, do I still block? Nope, just second Lightning Bolt, doesn't matter. Alright. That's not great for me. I will take my 1 point of damage. And opponent has another land as well. Fine with casting a Mox Opal. 2, 3, 4 total mana. Not the 6 I need. When do I play Hullbreacher? There's also a world where I play Days Undoing so that my opponent can't put a Murktide Regent into play, which is fucked. I think I play it now. Alright, it has resolved. Let's see if I'm dead to Murktide Regent happening. There's a fetch. Still just 3 card types in graveyard here. I need to dodge this turn. I think I lose if I don't dodge. That's unfortunate. That is the 3rd Lightning Bolt of the game. I guess it's better than Murktide happening, but still absolutely a disaster for me. And I don't know that I can... Oh, there it is. All right, GG. Like I lose to that. Um, I think I also just like I think I lose if I don't cast Days Undoing, and I think I lose if I do cast it. I don't think I can do nothing here and reasonably win. So I'll cast this, but like this is awful. All right, so I can attempt to do a Karn, but I can't actually get an Ensnaring Bridge into play without drawing another piece of mana. I need to let that go. This needs to protect Ensnaring Bridge. I think about the only way I win involves resolving Karn, like drawing an LED, using that to get Bridge into play immediately while also emptying my hand. But I'm just literally dead next turn, and like these disappearing lands are rough. Oh God, there's more. Okay, yeah, sure, absolutely. I go to 5. All right, LED, not LED. So I can play Karn and then be a mana short of Bridge. Yeah, that's fine. We can stop here. I don't expect to win this matchup if I'm being honest. So I need to bring in these 7 cards. That is my game plan. I'm not sure what exactly I want to board out. I don't really think LEDs are great. Rich in his article was kind of unsure. So Rich was trimming some number of these cards in combination because like Force of Will is very bad versus the Pyroblast deck, but like this is also the Meltdown deck, so like losing an extra card to a Chromox is kind of rough, but the mana acceleration matters. So he kind of did a little bit here and there, and I think his suggestion was something like this, this, 2 of these, where you still have a little bit of access to everything. I'm gonna go ahead and try that. I don't know. I'm also kind of looking at commit memory as a potential option. This hand turbos out a Karn around a Daze, but my opponent probably just attacks and kills that. I think this is a mulligan. Uh, this doesn't look good. Like same sort of situation. It just like plays a Karn and then I probably die. Let's mulligan that. Oh my god, why? Um, concede match? Feels like concede match. I ban both blue cards here if I keep this hand. I can't just start making Urza Saga Construct tokens on turn 2. I don't know that I win from 4. I'm gonna keep this, and maybe my opponent like wastelands this depletion land so that my actual Urza Saga doesn't get countered. This feels awful, and like the depletion counter lands being disappearing lands alongside Urza Saga being a disappearing land is just going to be absolutely brutal here. We'll see what we can do. I'm gonna lose to Meltdown. Do I Days Undoing? No, I don't Days Undoing. I use this mana to make Urza Saga Construct tokens. All right. I see like a Ledger Shredder. Yeah. And the difference between this and Ancient Tomb or City of Traders here is so pronounced. So I will play another one of these tapped. I guess there's a world where I play the green one for variety, but like the blue pips matter. Let's see how quickly this Ledger Shredder spirals into something that I can't beat. I think I have to kind of play around Meltdown a little bit and try to get my opponent to Meltdown, blowing up my construct tokens, and then try to play Karn into Ensnaring Bridge as a more long-term answer to the things going on the other side of the battlefield. Yeah. Uh, I don't feel like I ever beat Delver with this deck. All right, there's another land. Go ahead and take my construct token. Oh, we are already getting action. That's opponent fetching to play around Pithing Needle. Now what do I want? Shadow Spear's okay. Mox Opal's okay since I have many disappearing lands. I don't hate Mox Opal here. Need to use this mana pre-combat if I'm going to use it this turn. Let's go land. 3 mana. I'll drop a Narset. There's a Pyroblast. That's fine. I will bash in for 3, and we'll see if I eat a Meltdown next turn. Will be very good if my opponent has it. Oh, okay. Not technically a Meltdown, but you know, I think uh disappearing lands, something, something, something. All right, you know, I think I'm done. I think I'm just like no. Okay. I will be keeping this hand. I can play it in an Urza Saga direction, or I can play it in a like Hullbreacher Days Undoing direction, depending on what I feel like I need to do. I think I'm going to start with this land without playing the Mox. I don't want to play the Mox into a Prismatic Ending. Like, there's a world where my opponent is just like playing a Jeskai control deck or something like that, and it's just like very bad for me to do so. Is my opponent a Days deck? Is kind of my question here. I don't think I'm going to play around Days right now. Like, the blue cards that I have to pitch are pretty valuable. So I think I'm just going to play Otawara and pass the turn for a Hullbreacher in response to like a Brainstorm. My opponent has one. No end of turn play. All right, sure. I am fine with an end of turn Hullbreacher here. And I will Force of Will to protect this if my opponent Lightning Bolts or Swords to Plowshares. Yeah. Absolutely not. And then like a pair of Urza Sagas becomes the backup plan if my opponent fights over this. There is the Days. Okay. So that was not the best situation for me. I didn't have another like good card to put under the Chrome Mox though. All right. This will just kind of become an Urza Saga game now, and I hope that I can do something meaningful with that. So I'm guessing my opponent is like a Jeskai, Murktide Regent, Dragon Rage Channeler deck based on what I'm seeing so far. Let's make some constructs, shall we? LED. How big are these constructs? And does my opponent have Lightning Bolt? So if I play out these two, my first construct is a 3/3. It's still Lightning Boltable, so I don't necessarily have to do these now. Play Urza Saga here. Use these 2 lands to make a token this turn. Then I can use this to make a token next turn and play Ancient Tomb to make a further token past that. So I think I'm good with this. Again, at any point, Wasteland will be very good against my deck. Snapcaster Mage, absolutely. Kind of weird to me. I mean, I'll take this hit here. I'm fine with that. Do not want to trade an Urza Saga construct token for a Snapcaster Mage. Bobble is fine. And you can take a look at what I'm doing. That's okay. Or no, they targeted themselves rather. All right, let's make some tokens. Little 1/1 baby. Of course, it will not a great draw. So the one that has 3 counters on, I'll activate immediately, like so. Is another Snapcaster Mage, sure. That prevents my attack in this exact turn cycle. I'm going to have 2 relatively large tokens next turn. So I'm largely fine with what's happening here. I think this is Retrofitter Foundry, given multiple Snapcaster Mages on board. Now, do I just Chrome Mox this Force of Will so I don't have to pay life, or do I keep the Force of Will? I think I'm fine paying life right now. Let's play out an LED. Increase the size of these things in case that becomes relevant. Actually, this activates Urza Saga. With 1 more mana, I can also activate Retrofitter Foundry. I think I want to do that. Force of Will is cool and all, but a lot of the blue cards that I would draw, I would want to like just play. And next turn, I can probably do something like pick up a Shadow Spear and give trample past these Snapcaster Mages. Brainstorm's fine. I basically just don't want my opponent to have Dress Down. If game 1 Dress Down, that could be the thing that beats me. But like withholding my Force of Will without playing a blue card under the Chrome Mox, I can't actually hard cash that to prevent a dress down on my turn. And, like, I'd probably want to commit my mana into Urza Saga anyway. Alright, the Snapcaster Mages are held back. Let's make some critters. Predict is fine. Dragon Rage Channeler goes to graveyard. Go 2 mana, create another creature. Go to my turn. Fine. Activate the Urza Saga. I have a lot of power in play. We'll go ahead and pick up a Shadow Spear. Play out an LED, further increase my artifact count. I think it will be worth 2 mana to go ahead and equip these to one of the constructs. And we'll send some cards sideways. And that is good enough for the concession. So I'm going to want some amount of this stuff. I think I'm going to junk the commit memory here. I don't know how I feel about Force of Will. Like, for similar reasons to last time. Like, if I tap out for something, Force of Will, and then my opponent just dazes or Pyroblasts, that's not a great interaction for me. I also don't super love going all in on an LED in a lot of situations versus this deck. I may trim LED as well. Carpet Flowers is a little worse versus Prismatic Ending. I might not play the full play set. I might do like 2. I don't think I get to sideboard out of land here. I think I'm going to save an LED as a tutor target and trim 2 of them. What if I do play all of these and just, like, try to overload Prismatic Ending? I could go down on Forces or cut Forces entirely. I also don't really love Karn, but I think I have to keep Karn or Ensnaring Bridge. Yeah, what if I do this, keep 1 more LED? I don't know. I am not in love with this deck versus Delver or Delver-like decks. Like, I'm so scared of Wasteland. Daze is spooky. This hand is not keepable because this is a green depletion land. Let's mulligan. This one I like. This one I'll keep. And I think Chrome Mox has to go here. Don't have anything to imprint. And we'll attempt a turn 1 Carpet of Flowers, I think. The real question is, like, what land do I end up playing here? Like, I'm always playing double Lotus Petal. I really want to kind of try to play this. Spellpierce, I guess, is technically a thing that exists. Let's attempt to just play Carpet. My opponent might let it resolve. And just Prismatic Ending it. I'm not going to read too much into that resolving. I think I'm going to go ahead and play this and use that to bait out, like, the initial Wasteland so that I can maybe activate an Urza Saga. All right. Oh, no immediate Prismatic Ending on Carpet. Ooh, yeah. I think I'm game for that. Green. I think I used Lotus Petal here. I think I play Urza Saga. I think. Not 100% sure. I think I like this. Opponent almost certainly can answer this, though, like either with a counterspell or something. All right, we got a Murktide Regent. Wasteland is so good against me right now. Hitting either one of these lands, honestly. I think you hit the Urza Saga, though, since I have a Carpet. Had a Carpet? Feels like had a Carpet now. Oh no, it's an expressive iteration, sure. Right, that is a Scalding Tarn that they can play. Right, very nice. Choose target opponent. Choose you. Yeah, I'll use this ability. 2 blue mana. And so I don't use a counter on my depletion land. I am fine with activating this at sorcery speed. There's some downsides to doing that. But I think I am fine with that. Like, if a Prismatic Ending is used on a construct token rather than my Carpet of Flowers, that is probably a win for me. It just has, like, so many cards right now. All right, yeah, Brainstorm away. I don't know exactly what's in my opponent's hand. They don't have threats. That may mean that, like, let's put this on the stack like so. Oh, opponent is fetching prior to my Carpet of Flowers trigger resolving. That seems incorrect to me. Yes, I will use this ability. I will choose blue. We'll activate this. Okay, now opponent is fetching again. This time, presumably. Okay, just gonna do that on expressive iteration. Yeah. This time, presumably, to play around Pithing Needle, though. Alright. I will get to do my little search thing. I have 5 mana to work with this turn. I can cast a Karn and funnel 1 mana into something else. Maybe just get LED here. LED sets up both Echo and Karn, potentially. I can also just get, like, Spellbomb to be better against a Murktide Regent. Nothing I do super great versus a Meltdown. Although I could try to Echo it out of their hand. Alright. Grab an LED. We'll play this land. Go 4 mana, 4 Karn. Snapcaster Mage, sure. Can absolutely Brainstorm. There it is. What I do with the Karn if it resolves is kind of interesting. It does resolve. Take a look at the sideboard. I don't hate minus get Liquimetal Coating, attempt to junk Volcanic Island. I don't hate that. That also just puts another artifact into play. Part of me wants to just get another LED, cast LED, attack for 5, and then Echo. And if opponent has been sitting on a Meltdown all game, hoping that is going to work, I stop that. Or same for Dress Down. Turn's hard. Let's minus Karn and do the LED line, I think. Cast LED. Do I attack now? And do I crack both LEDs now? Becomes like the next set of questions. I don't think I attack now. Or if I attack now, I don't crack both LEDs. I crack one LED. Yeah, let's send in with the construct, see if my opponent jump blocks. Yeah. Alright, opponent does not. Then it becomes kind of interesting whether or not I double crack LED. Double crack LED is way better if they don't have a counterspell, and way worse if they do. Go double. Let's swing for the fences here. Okay. It worked. I've already made my land drop. Man, I wish I had a green mana. That's something I should have played towards. I should have cracked my LEDs for different colors. That was a mistake on my end. There's an attempt at a Hullbreacher. I think this is worth doing. And we'll see where this ends up. I just refueled my opponent, but I did take away their graveyard. Alright, sure. In my exile zone. It's the Echo. Of course it's the Echo. Alright, that's a prismatic ending on the Hullbreacher. Fine. You get green mana to choke next turn. Yeah. Alright. That stings. I don't necessarily think it's game over, though. Like, I'll take, like, I lose some Karn loyalty here. Alright. Yes, I will use his ability. We'll make green mana with this. Unsure exact order of operations here. I think I cast the Hullbreacher first. Okay, that has resolved. Let's attempt to choke. Alright. This is big game if this resolves. Ah, damn it. I have no reason to play out LED. We'll plus Karn with no legal target. And now I just kind of have to hope that my opponent does not, in addition to Prismatic Ending, Meltdown, force blue card, also just have an innate removal spell for Hullbreacher in hand. Okay, opponent is thinking about the attack. Is going on Karn, I presume? Going on Karn. I value Hullbreacher much higher than Karn. I will not block. And see if opponent can remove the Hullbreacher. Dragon Rage Channeler, that's fine. Ooh, Shadow Spear is good. Alright, let's make some mana. Yes, I will use this ability. I'll make some mana. Let's use some of this mana. Play a Shadow Spear. Oh, wow. Is that getting a hard cast Force of Will? Yeah, this is getting a hard cast Force of Will. Okay. Do I want to play out LED? Yeah, there's like this stupid 1 mana red damaged everything and the festivities question mark, I think is what it's called. This seems like a safe Hullbreacher attack. There's 3 card types in graveyard, but I don't see my opponent getting another one here. Now let's bash in. Opponent's at 7. And I'm pretty favored from this board state. Now, opponent can just, like, rip another Meltdown caliber card, and it's not great for me. But I've forced Delver on the defensive, which is absolutely a great sign for me. And I can get a Spell Bomb to answer a Murktide Regent if my opponent happens to have that as one of their last couple of cards here. It seems like that is what's happening. Yep. That's fine. Surprisingly. Oh, Days Undoing Hullbreacher as well. Nice. Alright. Carpet of Flowers can make a bunch of blue mana. Blue. Use some of that to activate Urza's Saga. Alright, there's another Construct token. Gonna get me that Spell Bomb that I was just talking about. I think it'll be worth it to pay some life in the second main phase. Cast Days Undoing there after attacking for 4. Actually, it won't be an attack for 4. It'll be an attack with a 3/3. Actually, okay, I don't really like that. Here's to hoping my opponent's last card isn't exactly Force of Will. I guess Lightning Bolt is also a thing. Let's bounce that Murktide Regent out of there. I don't need to do that, actually. And then attempt Days Undoing. Can never catch a break. Like, opponent had one unknown card there. That was not a good trade for me. Although I can vomit this stuff onto the battlefield with getting 5 or 6 mana from Carpet of Flowers. But I still think that was favorable for my opponent. Maybe I shouldn't have even done it. These constructs will get huge, though. Although opponent has a pretty impressive board now. It really depends on how many counter spells they end up with, I guess. How much mana do I have? A bajillion D. Plus 6 mana from Carpet alone. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17-ish mana. You can also just like go for a Karn Mycosynth Lattice Lock pretty much immediately. That's all fine. All right. I guess I'm taking green mana using Choke as the bait spell. Yeah, let's take green mana. All right. Play a land. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18 mana. I'm going to attempt some pretty wild shit here. Let's start with a Karn. I think I'm always using Ancient Tomb mana this turn, so I think I'm just going to get that out of the way now. Okay, there is a Force of Negation on that Karn. I want these Dragon Rage Channelers to get larger, by the way. Alright. Karn number 1 down. At this point, I think I choke. That, like, potentially keeps my opponent off red mana forever. So then let's go 4 mana Karn. Karn minus. Yes. Ensnaring Bridge. Cost me one of these. 1, 2, 3 mana. Ensnaring Bridge. That's a fine turn. Now, these things can still attack and kill Karn, but I have my opponent choked, so assuming they can't Prismatic Ending away the choke immediately, things are probably pretty good for me. Interesting. Okay, so things have changed enough where they don't want to keep whatever card they scryed on top with Dragon Rage Channeler a couple of times anymore. Alright, so goodbye to Karn here. Narset Echo. Cool. Let's make some blue mana. Yes. Blue. Play this. Play Narset. Or this can be 5, 6. Hardcast Echo. Okay. Yeah, I don't know, actually, I think I kind of fucked that up. I maybe wasn't supposed to do that, because that puts a bunch of cards in my hand in a way that's very awkward for me, right? So if, in the hypothetical world where my opponent could have refilled their graveyard, they could have been attacking for 11, and I couldn't have stopped that because I just drew 5 lands. I maybe could have gotten myself into an LED there. I wonder if that was actually correct. Like, scoreboard looks good, but that was a disaster of a set of cards to draw. That was just literal 7 mana sources. All right, but we're 2-1. Okay, round 4. This is a very good 6-card hand, not counting Chrome Mox as a real thing here. I'll go ahead and keep this and see where it goes. Again, Wasteland will be very good against me, but I don't think that is ever going to change. There's worlds where I could Hullbreacher on turn 1. I don't think I want to do that here. I think I'm just going to play this land tapped and call it a turn. I just think that, like, losing the Days Undoing to Hullbreacher immediately just does not feel like a good trade-off to me. If I play City of Traders, I have 2, 4, 5. I can't really get the 6th mana here. I want to play out a Lotus Petal, play Urza's Saga, and pass here with Hullbreacher up in case my opponent does something that cantrips. And maybe I don't want to Urza Saga immediately. Urza Saga is very good if Hullbreacher gets answered, and a little medium if it doesn't. Let's do it though. No end of turn play from opponent. Let's see what they're cooking up here. Ooh, Ancient Tomb? Urza. Interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and just take this as my opportunity to cast Hullbreacher while my opponent is tapped out. Ooh, that is a force. Yeah, my Days Undoing is now very bad. An opponent has the first construct token here. All right. Do I echo? My position could get considerably better. Could also get considerably worse. Let's Chrome Mox and fucking go for it. Do I play a land? Play Island? Play Island, I think. Crack for blue. Cast Echo. Oh, jeez. The fuck is this shit? That is 0 business spells. Wow. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Chrome Mox 6. Time to Echo again. Echoing again is so bad if my opponent has force. Wow. Yeah, no Karn, no Hullbreacher, no Narset. I am unhappy. I think I'm going to Chrome Mox, pitch an Echo, Urza Saga token, Otawara this construct. What a disaster. I'm very unhappy with that. Wow, that's like surprisingly annoying for this. I don't really want to cast this Echo as things stand. Let's just try to take advantage of the current situation to the best. Green too? The green for? Okay. Burrow. Alright. There's my construct token. Emery returning that Baleful Strix repeatedly is absolutely some shit. New construct token. Is the plan Trample? I can Spellbomb and keep that Emery out of play for another turn and just like do a tempo-based line. That might be necessary. Baleful Strix coming back is a disaster right now. Alright. Spellbomb that Emery out of play. Play an LED to grow these to 5/5s again. Play a tapped land. Crash in for 5 and hope to present lethal or something close to it next turn. That was such a bad draw 7. Ah! No. No. Jesus. Why does my opponent have all of these things? Absolutely fuck me. Oh my god. Hey. I just like have to take a draw 7 reload here, but like it's a draw 7 reload when my opponent has. Damn it. God damn it. Am I just dead in Paradox Engine? I could have just died to Mycosynth Lattice there. But let's let my opponent go off. How does this work? Whenever you cast a spell, untap all non-land permanents you control. Alright, cool. So like these things now produce mana and will repeatedly produce mana. Do you have something that can straight up kill me this turn? Slash, do you have Mycosynth Lattice in your deck? If you had Mycosynth Lattice, I should have just died. Like, unquestionably should have just died. Okay, they're just spinning the wheels with Urza. And I'll take 1 in combat here. And my opponent, like, repeatedly gets Baleful Strix. What is this? Nimble Obstructionist? What the fuck? What the fuck is going on? Alright. I have a lot of cards that don't exactly have text. Whatever happens to me here. I guess I just shuffled my opponent's graveyard out of play. So, like, that's a thing. Opponent can, like, make 2 more mana and then rebuy that with Emery. Indeed, what's happening? Untap all that shit. I'm so dead. But I expected to literally be dead already, and I guess my opponent is at 3 life, so, like, you know, there's worlds. Oh wait, this is just infinite mana, isn't it? Yeah, tap 2, sack Lotus Petal, untap Emery, cast Lotus Petal. Okay, yeah, opponent has infinite mana at this point. There is a new Karn. So if my opponent has a Walking Ballista or a Mycosynth Lattice... Okay, yeah, Walking Ballista kills me. I'm not going to make them click through that. That is a pain in the butt. GG's. God damn it. No sideboarding? That feels bad. Like, opponent has enough varied lands, including some things like Ancient Tomb, that just, like, choking them out of the game or trying to rely on carpet mana is maybe not the best. They're okay. Let's submit the game 1 deck again. I'm very on the fence about carpet and choke. Those produce green mana. This is not really keepable. This would be a turn 3 Karn as, like, the best thing this hand can do with force backup. I'm not super into that. This is a turn 2 Hullbreacher. This is keepable. A little sketch. If I get rid of the Force of Will, I can try to play towards worlds where I do cast Memory with Hullbreacher in play. But I'm not sure if I can drop the Force of Will from this hand reasonably. I think I'm supposed to throw back in the Ancient Tomb and keep this card as Force of Will fodder more so than anything else. I'm going to lead on Ancient Tomb here. I don't think there's a world where I end up Karning next turn. Alright, opponent has an Ancient Tomb of their own. And no initial play. Alright, I will play an Otawara, pass the turn, have Hullbreacher with a force backup. I don't really want to force. Like, I'd like to find a situation where I can just cast Memory and then protect Memory with force. Like, that will just be stronger. But we'll see. Okay, my Hullbreacher is almost certainly getting Force of Willed if my opponent is not making any play here. Okay, yeah. Let's Hullbreacher. Okay, it has worked. I need another blue pip so I can hardcast this force or cast this thing. Not really there yet. Let's battle in for 3. Drop my opponent to 17, and we may just play, like, straight up Hullbreacher tempo here. Alright, opponent found colored mana. Let's see what they can do with it. Yes, absolutely. Alright, that's it. That's it. It's turn 3 and my opponent hasn't cast an impactful spell yet. This is very strange. So, Mitt is also, like, something I can reasonably cast. Alright, let's swing in with a Hullbreacher. See if I randomly run into, like, an Ice Fang Coatl or something. Alright, I do not. Let's call it a turn. No play. This is a kind of fucked up game of Magic. Do I make this land drop? I'll probably make this land drop. Bash in. Okay, yeah. I am just hitting opponent here. So now I've got either 2 or maybe 3 counterspells protecting this Hullbreacher. Yeah, you can Lotus Petal. I will let you turn on Mox Opal. Yes, absolutely. I will not let you do that. This can hit anything. Yeah. Use that. 1, 2, 3, 4, I guess. Overpaying a bit. We're just playing Hullbreacher tempo. Alright. Opponent is, I think, hard casting, or they're casting a Force of Negation. Am I just forcing? Probably just forcing. Alright. Alright. So now opponent can't really cast Urza when it comes back. Alright, this is not a normal split card. This is an Aftermath card. Forgot about that. So I don't have actual double blue, which has been a problem this whole game. Okay. I'll crash in with a Hullbreacher. Opponent goes to 6. It's hard for them to tap Ancient Tombs to play something like a Karn. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, like, given the lands that I saw this game, for example, like, this stuff not looking great. I don't know why my opponent kept their hand. They must have been one card away from doing something very cool with their opening hand. Yeah, I think I'm submitting the game 1 deck again, unfortunately. This hand does not have enough mana to be functional. Let's ship this. This hand has Narset Days Undoing. I will keep this. And then the question is, do I keep the Spellbomb or what? Like, Spellbomb versus Force, one of those goes back. If I'm trying to do Narset Days Undoing, I pitch Force. Maybe that's not true, actually. Maybe I pitch Spellbomb still. So let's pitch Spellbomb, because that gives me the possibility of drawing a blue card to protect this stuff. I am potentially going to run into the multiple disappearing lands problem this game. What do you have? Okay. No opening play from opponent, which is very good for me. Them just, like, slamming a turn 1 Emery into a turn 2 Karn or something like that would have been pretty rough. Alright, they're chilling. Supposed to be an Otawara turn. Do Narset as my play with Force of Will backup. Narset has resolved. I will take a card out of that. I'm good with that. Cards are so small. I'll take an Opal. It's playable. I don't need to play it this turn, though. Let's call this here. You can have your Opal. All right. This is where I get to attempt to do the thing. I will play an Opal. I will play an Urza Saga. That becomes plan B if things go south. I wish I had Metalcraft. I'm not there. Let's go 1, 2, 3. Attempt Days Undoing. Corrupt Decay cannot be countered. Sure didn't play around that. Or could I have, really? Alright, sort of unfortunate. Alright, is what it is. Wish I had one more mana so that I could drop a Hullbreacher in play at my opponent's end of turn. That is what it is. Alright, yeah, you've got an Urza, which is very good here. Definitely a frustrating turn of events for me. Opponent has so much wild shit in their deck. Abrupt Decay, Nimble Obstructionist. Ugh. Alright. There's a Lotus Petal. Once I activate Urza's Saga, Mox Opal is on. So, Urza lets you tap an untapped artifact, so, like, Karn is not quite as good as you might think against that. So, let's play an LED. Go 2 mana. Activate Urza's Saga. At some point I can use Otawara to get rid of that token. I'm trying to figure out if I'm doing it now. I can hold up Hullbreacher. I can play Hullbreacher. I can play Shadow Spear. I'm going to hold up Hullbreacher. Try to keep a Shadow Spear as a surprise for a little bit later. Yeah, your Karn is much better than my Karn, unfortunately. That'll resolve. My opponent can, like, even just plus the Karn and shrink my construct and make it so that their construct rumbles better. My Shadow Spear that's in hand isn't great. Oh, Sigh. Okay, cool. Sigh also just gives my opponent a shit ton of mana via Urza Saga. Or sorry, not via Urza himself. Okay. Opponent has played a Chalice of the Void. I'm not sure if that's actually good, but I guess my opponent can, like, Karn plus it. They have found a Walking Ballista. They can cast that for, what, X equals 2 here? Reasonable. Yeah, I feel kind of fucked. Yeah, Force of Will, you are late. I don't really know how to win from here. I have to get this Karn out of play. My opponent has infinite chump blockers. My opponent has a death laser. And my opponent has enough flyers that I can't really keep Karn at a reasonable loyalty number. I think I'm dead. I think I am going to concede. Yeah, that's reasonable. So stuff doesn't really matter because I can't activate their abilities. I guess I'll take a Retrofitter Foundry. A legendary land, can't super play that profitably. Yeah, I think I'm done with this one. I think my opponent's deck is. I don't mean this as an insult. I think my opponent's deck building is bad. Like, my opponent has like absolutely wild cards in their deck list that creates a lot of instability in how their games went. Like in game 2, they played like basically 0 relevant cards the whole game, right? They like have nimble obstructionists and Uros and decays. I do not like the way my opponent's deck is constructed, but scoreboard, right? Ugh. All right, round 5 here. My opening hand needs another mana source in order to be effective. I think I just have to mulligan this one. Turn 1 Hullbreacher. And I kind of stall out for a while. On 6, I probably still keep this. And I think I'll junk this card. It's possible that's not correct, and I just want to use that as a 4-mana counterspell. But living or playing towards the world where I do just get to immediately buy you. Straight up a Llanowar Elf. Alright. Actually, do I wait a turn? Maybe I wait a turn. To not give up this Lotus Petal to, like, actually work towards doing the Echo thing. Yeah, I think I'm good with that. Okay. Play. LED. This is what I wanted to do. Hullbreacher. Rack for blue. Cast an Echo. And now I'm actually going to get my 7 treasure tokens. That's dope. I have 8 mana currently. I can Karn for Liquid Metal Coating. Then just kill my opponent next turn. Or I can Echo again. Echoing again is really funny. Let's Echo again. So I can go blue mana, bounce this to my opponent's hand, and then absolutely fucking bully them by casting another Echo, giving me 7 more treasure tokens and the ability to do more dumb shit. I'm not done. I'm not done, Hoffy. I was going to Echo again, damn it. Okay. That was cool. That was cool. Probably 0 sideboarding. Like, Force of Negation is technically defensible, but not particularly good because of Allosaurus Shepherd. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna run this back and hope to have a ridiculous nut draw like that again. How good is Karn here? Ancient Tomb, Chrome Mox, Force under it. I can do a turn 2 Karn and try to go towards Ensnaring Bridge. That's okay. Don't know if that's good enough. Let's find out. Opponent took 1 mulligan. They may be trying to find discard, like given how last game went. It's an elf. Okay, so this is Nettle Sentinel elves rather than Reclaimer elves. Oh. Okay. Chrome Mox. Foot Force underneath. Ancient Tomb. Lotus Petal. Go 4 mana. Play Karn. I think I still minus immediately. Thoughtseize specifically makes that worse. Yes, I will use this ability. Actually, maybe I just grab LED with this one. Grab LED with this one. And play that out. Oh, maybe that's dumb, because like this can attack Karn down to 1. So what I was thinking about was like playing the other Karn, minusing LED, discarding one card, getting Hellbent, Ensnaring Bridge going very quickly. But that can, like, this line that I took can be kind of awkward in terms of um, potential top decks that interact with Glimpse of Nature. This is good. Maybe. Maybe not. YOLO? I'm okay with the YOLO. I think I will tap Ancient Tomb, though. Let's Echo and see where it goes. We went into Hullbreacher territory. No second blue card for Force of Will. That's slightly awkward for me. Alright. So there's a Hullbreacher. Probably need to use my mana. I think I'm going to play a Shadow Spear and turn it into a 1/1 blocker. And call that a turn. I don't know that this ended up being better than the Ensnaring Bridge based line. Alright, I have lost Karn. See if my opponent just has Natural Order. Okay, that is not Natural Order, which is good. There's 3 mana. And opponent has a lot of mana. Like, they can go up to 8 here. They could hardcast a Crater Hoof. Let's always yield to those. I am not interacting with these creatures in play. There's another Visionary. Opponent opting not to produce additional mana here. Now, this does give me a treasure token with Hullbreacher. That's 5 mana. There's Aquarian Ranger. Untaps some critters. Need to keep my Karn alive if my opponent does this. There's an untap. This will be an Allosaurus Shepherd activation to make those creatures large. And I'm going to have to chump block here, assuming both of those go at Karn. I think I just need my Ensnaring Bridge here. So let's do some chump blocks and then try to hide behind an Ensnaring Bridge for the rest of the game. I needed to not draw more land. Wanted to draw a blue card here quite badly, so I could like Force of Will one of my own cards and clear my hand. That's rough. I guess I'll minus grab Ensnaring Bridge, and I'm pretty much reliant on my opponent punting. No, I can draw LED. Yeah, I can draw an LED here and be good. Draw from Mox. Yeah, that's not going to get me Hellbent, unfortunately. So, like, I can play Force. I can play an Ensnaring Bridge, but then not go Hellbent. Yeah, so my opponent just attacks, and then after attacks, activates Allosaurus Shepherd, and I am dead on board. Yep, just, like, with drawing a blue card... No, blue card still doesn't quite get me there. Alright, here comes death. Now opponent just taps Gaia's Cradle, activates their thing, and I'm dead. Yep, okay. Opponent sees the writing on the wall. GG. Again, I don't really think I have relevant things here. I could have gone for the Karn Ensnaring Bridge play the first time around. It doesn't really do anything. Like, I don't think just like Urza Saga Construct Beats is going to beat my opponent. And this is a slow Karn and no ability to cast an Echo. This can be a turn 2 Karn or turn 3 Ensnaring Bridge. I don't love it. Because I'm going to lose this land, and this is going to hurt me, so it's actually going to be hard to continue to deploy my hand for an Ensnaring Bridge with this. I think I'm going to go deeper and try to find a reasonable combo. This is just going to cast an Echo on turn 1 and hope things work out in my favor. What am I on? On 5, so junk this. Done. I'll Chrome Mox. Pitch Days Undoing. Play Etawara. Play LED. Hope opponent doesn't have Mindbreak Trap. Play Echo. Opponent did not have Mindbreak Trap. Will be a better turn 2 Karn hand than the one from earlier. I can play out a Shadow Spear. And then opponent is on a totally random set of 7 cards. Which is probably okay for elves most of the time. I almost wish I didn't play the Otawara out, though. Yeah, that's very good. That takes my Karn. I guess I could cast an Echo if I have to. Like, draw a Hullbreacher or Narset. Right, there's a Lotus Petal. I can play that. I have so little gas in my hand. I think I'm fine doing this. Let's Echo and hope to draw into something that is literally nothing that I can play. Rough. That is what it is. Guess I should not F6 there. Elector oof. Brutal. Can't spellbomb that out of play. And my mana is super awkward with this other Otawara. 3, 6, 7, 8. I think I'm just going to main phase this so I do not have to discard. And I think I leave this land in play for now. So I think my plan involves casting. Damn it. All right. Never mind. We will eliminate this line of thinking. The plan has changed. I was going to say my plan involves like casting an Echo, getting a bunch of treasure tokens, and then making a very large Urza Saga construct token that just beats out my opponent. That is still the plan now. I will largely run back the play from last turn. Yes, I didn't need. No, I did need to sorcery speed that because I think I play Urza Saga here. Yeah. Back to places on the stack. Okay. Lose city. Play out 2 artifacts for the purposes of those Urza Saga construct tokens. And here's to hoping that I can just make very large creatures that beat my opponent. That is very much not a guarantee. At some point, I can also Otawara the Collector Oof out of play. All right, goodbye, Karn. 2 more mana, Aquarian Ranger, that's fine. I assume no Collector Oof attack. Okay. I Otawara Collector Oof out of play for 4 mana. I don't quite have enough mana to do Echo as well. I think I do just want to Echo this turn, though. Like, getting those treasures means I can make 1 Urza Saga construct token. I don't know, like, having the Otawara in hand is really nice, though. I can wait a turn and set up something cooler. I don't know, denying my opponent the cards is really good, though. Like, putting them in top deck territory so that, like, a natural order or whatever they don't have in hand becomes irrelevant. Okay. I've talked myself into that. Let's put Echo of Eons under this. Go ahead and cast this. For 3 mana, taking those cards out of my opponent's hand. I create a billion D treasures. They currently don't have text, but I think that's fine. Opponent is now on 0 cards. And I think I'm good with that top decking position. Yep. Seems good. Is this an Urza Saga token? I think this is an Urza Saga token. Let's go ahead and make that. It doesn't super matter what I get here. It's just something that makes this construct 1 larger. Yeah, let's just play an Urza Saga's game from here. Do that. Call it a turn. And if at any point I get Collector Oof out of play, the game's just donezo. That's fine. Oh, okay. Are you fetching the Dryad Arbor now? Show me your trick. Yep. All right, and that'll be end of turn. What do I have with Karn? Anything interesting? Lattice is interesting. To make my Urza Saga. Okay, yeah. Let's go Ancient Tomb. 4 mana. Do a Karn. I don't think I put the card in my hand until next turn. Let's just defend my Karn better and call it a turn. And then next turn I can go ahead and do a Mycosynth Lattice kill. My attack here doesn't do much good because my opponent can just return a Dryad Arbor to their hand. Yep, that should do it. So let's end step. Make another idiot. Okay. Now I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I don't have the mana. Or actually, 1. Or actually, let's just count these as this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, I can just make a token as well. That's fine. Another giant idiot. Grab Mox Opal here, doesn't really matter. Arn minus. Yes. Mycosynth Lattice, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ancient Tomb Mana is fine. Okay. There's the Mycosynth Lattice. And we're good. Opponent is just locked out. Okay. So at what point do I just like instantly win here? Oh, right. They have Collector Oof as well. Huh. That is awkward, isn't it? That is awkward. That's very awkward. All right. I guess the plan becomes kill my opponent. Otherwise, we just like stare at each other for a very long time. I deck first. Each one of those is lethal. So like they do require blockers. One of those can be the Dryad Arbor. Okay, opponent junking the Collector Oof here very notably. Which means all this shit is back online. Okay, and I am no longer in my bad situation anymore. This means that I can just Echo again. I also just plus blow up this Cradle. That sounds good to me. Let's... Okay, yeah. We're going to bounce a Quirion Ranger to my opponent's hand, then send away all of their cards, get 7 more treasure tokens, and kind of loop through the rest of my deck here. All right, overall thoughts on this deck list. When it's good, it's very good. When it's bad, it's very bad. In the last, I think 2 rounds there, we kind of caught our stride and we like did the loop the draw 7 things a couple of times in a very powerful way. But if your opponent is meaningfully interacting with you, it's kind of hard to set up. And we saw it backfire multiple times throughout the rest of the league. I would recommend this deck if you are looking to have some fun and play something different. I don't think I would recommend this for a serious event with real prizes on the line. Like, show up with this for your FNM and have a blast. You know, play a league with this. Maybe don't show up to your 1K or above with this. I don't like the fact that you have very little ability to interact with opposing permanents. Like, you have some counterspells, but once something's in play, it's kind of in play. And I don't love that. Like, you have 2 Ottawaras that you can bounce stuff with. That's... And like, a spell bomb, but that's about it. Like, you can do the whole powerful, like, Urza Saga, kill you with 2 constructs thing, and we did that a decent amount this league. But, like, given how many Red Elemental Blasts are floating around the format, both in Blue-Red Delver and a fight against Blue-Red Delver, I don't know that I love this deck. It was fun playing, but... You know, don't think I'm going to fire it up for another league for funsies, you know? I don't think I have any suggestions for major changes. I understand why the deck is built the way that it is built. I just don't think this one's for me. Anyway, folks, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please click the like button on the way out if you want to try this out or you want to get one of your own decks on the channel. That information, as always, is available in the video description. Have a great rest of the day. See ya!